Okay, greetings and welcome to our Sunday live stream for the 26th of February 2023. I want to start by saying hello to Nathan Oakley and Mudlark Digging at the Thames in the live chat. Mudlark says, I've never been pregnant, but I don't think it's good to do those exercises whilst pregnant. Yeah, that's a reference to the video in the pre-show, Elsa Hosk and her bump discrepancies. Let me just check actually before we go too far that my audio is hearable. Bear with me 1 second. Yep, sound seems okay. Right, I have let one of the cats in the room with me, and they can be absolute pests, so depending on how he behaves will depend on whether he stays. Yeah, he's got a thing about jumping up. Oh, right, so let's see. Yeah, no, it's absolutely impossible the way she kicks her leg up. We are going to look at a couple of, well, there's one story involving what could potentially be a fake pregnancy. But before we carry on with that, I would just like to remind anyone tuning in tonight that if you want to show your appreciation and you want to hit the thumbs up button before you leave, that's always good. Sharing and subscribing is also recommended from my part. I also want to thank Linda Mack and Skeptic936 for supporting this channel. There's a QR code and links in the description if you want to know any more about that side of things. Right, and on with the stream. When was it? It was either last Sunday or it was during my midweek stream that someone in the live chat mentioned there was some demonstrations going on in Newquay apparently, and we were looking at the possibility that there would be anti-protesters were, I think, how they described themselves. Did the microphone pick up that meow you just heard? That's the cat trying to get comfortable somewhere. Ideally he wants to jump all over the keyboard, but he's not getting there. We're not letting that happen this evening. So yeah, one thing we will look at first is, I think we'll start with Newquay, shall we? Let's see. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, we'll be getting started in 1 minute. I'll share the... Got to figure out where to start now. Later on after our intermission tonight, we'll be looking at the headline story, which is my prediction that we're going to see a horse-drawn carriage on the mainstream news, on the evening news. Let's see if I'm right about that one. I have predicted it before, and that not to have been the case. Right, where's our footage of Newquay? Yeah, the video we watched in the midweek stream, it was something I caught on Twitter. Actually, I think we'll go to Twitter first, and I'll see if I can find the guy who shared the video we watched and just what sort of content he seems to like to share for stuff that it seems to be a lot of attacks from dark people on lighter skinned people. No, don't think I would have liked them. Let's see, what's his name? David Vance seems to be. He's got one of these names, he's got in the title. Here we are. Some of the stuff he covers is pretty good. Oh, have we got audio coming out of that? I don't think we do. Let me just double check actually. Nope, that's yeah, and it's kind of linked in a way to to the idea of people protesting against immigrants, basically. And it's right up David Vance's street, whoever this guy is. By the way, this is a video from his channel. Clearly a photo opportunity where a girls' football team, I assume that it's an all-girls team, are taking out the flag. And I did think to myself, I wonder if they'll be so... I wonder if they'll still love the idea of trans movement when they potentially try and become professional footballers in themselves in women's teams, and realise that all the positions get taken by trans men who identify as women. Yeah, that's a big thing in sporting events, of course. That... Right, I just want to don't want to lose the live chat too much. KG, greetings, welcome to the chat, and Sunstar Thunder Lightning. Mudlark says, referring to Elsa Hosk and her hopping around, I think it's to make pregnant women feel bad about not being as great as that woman doing the exercises. You're absolutely right. We've seen women lifting weights when they're 9 months pregnant. Apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter hiked up a mountain a couple of days before giving birth. It's lunacy, it's insanity, and ultimately, if you were to take it seriously, you would be left thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do these things? Why can't I be like Katy Perry and release a #1 album whilst pregnant? Right, I want to just find some of the videos this guy has shared. Is that the one where no, again, apparently they painted the steps of a church to coincide with the colours of the rainbow. Possibly a reference to God's covenant with man, that he'll no longer deluge the earth. Or maybe someone's hijacked the rainbow and using it for their own kind of linked agenda. Of course, the reason the earth was deluged was because of the perversions, the disgusting behaviour going on, and it was a wipeout. And it's almost now as if they're saying, look how sordid and nasty we will get, and we'll rub your face in it. Here's one of another group of dark people. So going to finish my thought on the rainbow. It's like they're rubbing it in the face of God, saying, hey, here's your rainbow in which you promise you'll never flood us again. No matter how disgraceful we get, well, we're going to push you to that. Right. Yeah, horrible video. Now, the one we watched in midweek, I called out as rubbish. I said it was all part of, it was controlled, it was set up. A lot of videos where you see gratuitous violence is just that. Actually, it's set up, and this guy seems to be a sharer of it, almost to stir. Although I did think this tweet was quite humorous. Although he was just retweeting someone else about. These are just a few of the matches on my friend's lesbian dating app. I remember when words used to mean things. Not anymore, hey. At least this guy who in the middle, who identifies as she and her as well as he and him, isn't even trying to, isn't even wearing that which pertains to a woman. Oh, by the way, Sunstar Thunder Lightning, in the pre-show we did have you sent me a tweet about, so I didn't actually reveal who sent the tweet, but somebody sent me a tweet about the possibilities that Shell are involved in the shipment of a certain product. And I did share my thoughts on that particular story over in the pre-show. So just to let you know, if you want my thoughts on it. Mudlark also asks whether, mentions the similarity between, let's see, where is it? The similarities between the newsreader. Where are we? I can't find the message now. Oh, Sunstar saying good night. Okay, well, thanks for joining us. And yeah, hope you can catch this when it's an earlier time for you. I know you're in Central Europe where it's nearly midnight, I'm guessing now. Well, 45 minutes away from midnight. So I appreciate not everyone can stay up for these streams. I do also do them midweek now, and they are earlier. So let's hope you can tune in for a future one. And Maria Ellender, good to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Mudlight says, do you think that John Kay from BBC Breakfast is also Nicola Bulley's boyfriend? We are going to cover Nicola Bulley in the second half of this stream. And again, yeah, we looked at it on my midweek stream, the comparison of those two, how they do have a stark similarity. Here's another video I've seen other people sharing about Zelensky having a body double. Yeah, not surprised. Who's to say this one will? Who's to say that's not Biden's body double? Can we click in? I think this is a video. I mean, what's this person here stood next to him? Looks like a mannequin or a waxwork doll. I think there are some live footage of this one. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong thing. Yeah, this person here doesn't look certainly doesn't look very male to me. Absolutely barely looks human. And yeah, apparently there are two Zelenskys, which isn't a surprise. That is just what gets done. Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal. But yeah, who needs body doubles when they can literally CGI people's faces onto, you know, celebrity faces or regular faces onto anything they want? It can even be done with free apps you get with, like, I'm not sure whether TikTok or Snapchat or something, but a lot of these apps have built-in filters, they call them, and some of the things they can do is incredible. So how does this link to, wow, look at these stunners. Some people have no dignity, but anyway, whatever. So how does it link with Nuki? Mudlight, you didn't see my live stream. No problem. Do you know what? Just for you, I'm going to put a link to it in the live chat in case you want to catch it. It's now called, my midweek streams, that last one I did was called the Bobsy Hour. And right, let's see if we can get to the bit where I brought up, I will share a link to it. Let's see if we can get to the bit where I mentioned Nicola. Oh, Nicola Bulley's partner. But as I said, we will be going on to, here we go. Yeah, we looked at Mr. Bulley and his likeness to the newsreader certainly came up at one point or another. We also mentioned exactly what you're saying about how CGI Nicola could potentially be. I'm sure we certainly looked at the newsreader. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it exactly, but he came up, put it that way. Let's see, there he is. There's the boyfriend. Just to address your point of, as I said, in the second half of this stream, we will be looking closer at Nicola and the possible the possibility that a horse-drawn carriage will come out. I was silly enough when Dame Deborah James passed on to... There we go. Yeah, he does have a stark resemblance. I'll give you that. Okay, yeah. Enjoy that. I will put a link to this stream in the show notes if anyone, which will be in the description of this video, if anyone's watching after the fact and doesn't have access to the live chat. So yeah, this was suggested by Susan, who is a regular contributor to the live chat. By the way, I am considering very soon allowing your contributions to become verbal and doing open lines, as I've called them in the past, where I invite people to come on. I am reluctant to use StreamYard, as I do have to make quite a lot of sacrifices in order to use that. And any videos I want to play are very... Yeah. In the past, I've just had trouble with StreamYard, so I probably won't... I won't do it on there, but I may open it up to... maybe a Google Hangout or whatever they call it these days, or a Microsoft Rooms or some such. I don't know. But yeah, your ability to contribute to these streams will be enforced if anyone wants to come on at any point. Yeah, anti-fascist protesters gather. Now, by saying anti-fascist protesters, it's suggesting that those people that are opposing refugees are fascists, which is a bit of a insult. But as Susan suggested, might be the case. We did see heated scenes. Hundreds of people crammed onto two sides of Cornwall Town's road to take part in an anti and pro-refugee protest. Well, that was a great idea, wasn't it? Having both on the same day. Who came up with that? I bet whoever came up with it wears a red jacket when they attend these protests. Should we watch a couple of minutes of this video? By the way, can anyone make sense of this plaque that this woman is carrying? It says Hen Hag Ol. I'm wondering if it's is it something to do with the Labour leader? Isn't his name Ken Hag or something? I don't know. I don't even know the names of the politicians anymore. I'm that detached from it. Right. We'll just watch this clip a minute of protesters and see if any of the usual suspect things, like which might lead us to think that it's not all as it seems, come up in this. That is, well, this isn't any violence, but I think we only get photos of that. I'm not sure.
So I'm here to make a peaceful protest against what I see to be two important issues. One is racism, which is against the people in this hotel, asylum seekers and refugees, whilst at the same time acknowledging that, you know, females...
So this guy's the anti-fascist. Here we got someone in the background already covering his face up. Either he's scared of catching a cold, or he's planning mischief. As we covered in the midweek stream, whenever there is like large public displays of aggression, riots, or, you know, demonstrations where the police get attacked, you always see the same thing. Everyone seems to wear either black or white, and generally black, and you'll get the occasional person wearing red, and sometimes they wear blue if they've got... Yeah, these public displays are very tightly controlled, and you can tell that by the colour coding that goes on. Right, let's carry on listening to this anti-fascist for 1 second. Females need to be safe on the streets. Again, we saw a video on Twitter where some guy he approaches a 15-year-old and asks her, well, we don't hear what he asks her. All we hear is her telling him he could get arrested. And there's like 2 different people filming him at the same time. Insane. So they must have been expecting something. Yeah, but again, just another example of dividing people and making sure that whatever side of the fence you're on their side of the fence. They don't want you hopping over the side where you say, well, hang on, both arms of this protest are completely controlled by the same people. They're arranged by the same people, and they even wear the same uniforms. Maria says in the live chat, crisis actors, absolutely agree. Yeah, Mudlark, divide and conquer tactics. Yeah, it goes down to everything. As we were looking at that guy on Twitter with his David Vance, so long as you're fuming about something, that's all that matters. They want you absolutely outraged one way or another. And maybe some of the people that turn up to this protest in Newquay does genuinely feel fuming. And it's very real for them, of course. But unfortunately, they believe that protesting with the red jackets will in some way change anything. Personally, I don't think so. I think it's just... I think every demonstration bit that gets lots of mainstream coverage is completely controlled by those in positions of power. Because, yeah, for example, let's say I wanted to start a protest in my local town tomorrow. Do you think I'd manage to get a single reporter to come down and interview me about it? No, they would just say, you know, if I tried stopping traffic, I'd be moved on instantly. If I could even round up a few mates to come and stand in the road and we're going to demonstrate about whatever we want to demonstrate about, I don't know. The road traffic, you know, when you cross the road at a pedestrian crossing, they don't give you enough time to cross, so we're going to demonstrate, stand in the road, stop the traffic, we'd be moved on instantly, we wouldn't last 2 minutes. But when it's someone like the anti-fascist, the Kurnow anti-fascist network, whoever they are, members of the black clad, yeah, they all wear their uniform. Their role being to ensure no anti-refugee protesters could gain access inside the hotel. They were surrounded by at least 300 people waving flags. What colour do you think those flags were? Red. Placards, flowers and shouting, chanting and singing slogans that Cornwall welcomes refugees and is no place for racists or fascists. Yeah, the reason the flags are red is sometimes obviously it's difficult to see someone's red jacket, so for the crisis actors or the renter mobs or the agent provocateurs, for them to know who they should be reporting to, where they should get their directions from, they just look for the red flags. That is how these things seem to be done. Right, where's the images of... Yeah, here's this sign again. I'm not quite sure what it's referring to. Maybe it's in the Cornish language, which is cool. Right, the anti-fascists are passing around flowers because they're decent people. And here we have these, I imagine, probably half of them are maybe genuine people that turned up because they just wanted to see what was going on. And the way they photograph it is to make it look like lots of people are there. I bet that's probably everyone that turned up, and they managed to get everyone into the shot at once. We'll see. Of course. And then some of them had to go off and change into their police officer uniforms so they could perform, so they could be photographed twice. Look at this naff sign this guy's got. Oh, that didn't do anything. Illegal immigrants not something, France is safe. That's not a very impressive placard, is it? Whereas the ones by the anti-fascists, look how great they are. Like proper printed flags, Paddington stuck on it. They've even got free flowers to give away. Who knows? Yeah, Mudlark points out it's literally a red flag. You are correct. And only the protesters that are organised by the people in power make the news. Of course it does. My protest to have zebra crossings, or they're not called zebra crossings, pedestrian crossings, to stay green, the green man for longer, wouldn't get a mention, I'm sure of that. By 4 p.m, both sides had started out thinly, with, oddly, a large group of teenagers making the bulk of the anti-refugee protests. Apparently colleges encourage... I do remember seeing a climate protest, which was actually done in the week once, and that was done by college students. They're almost as if it was part of their course to take part in this protest. I don't know, I'm sure they got extra credits for creating the signs. I am certain they were from the college, I know that much. Right. One woman outside the Beresford Hotel said these people are not illegal immigrants, they're refugees who have escaped a conflict. The people on the other side don't know that it is a global issue. They must be very ignorant. To them it's not just a backyard thing. We are one world, and everybody in it, regardless of where they come from, regardless of the location, should not have to live in persecution. Do we hear anything from the opposing side, by the way? Or do we only get quotes from and interviews with the anti-fascists? Yeah, another quote from a pro-refugee protester. One woman carrying a hand... Oh, Onan Hag Ol added from... What does that mean, I wonder? Let's have a look. I wonder if it's something in Welsh. Sorry, Cornish. Oh, it's a traditional way to greet someone in Cornish, or on St. Piran's Day, the motto of Cornwall. I did not know that. This stream has its educational moments. We learn Cornish. Look at that wonderful sign by that guy. Compared to the crappy piece of cardboard, oh, this is the protest. This guy here is realising how ridiculous it is. Let's get a close-up of these people almost seem embarrassed to be there, and they're all being cordoned off by police as well. That does make the the people that don't like the immigrants look pretty naff with their cardboard plaques and Sainsbury's carrier bags. We'll save that one. Could make a good thumbnail one day. Yeah, compared to that, look at the excellent... Oh, can we zoom in? Look at the excellent plaques these people have. And of course, we're going to see something else here. It isn't just plaques we're looking for. We're looking for the red jackets, the red flags. Yeah, I think everyone carrying a flag also happens to have a red jacket on. You got this guy here. Red jacket. Let's see, who else? Someone just here. I don't know if you can see him. We'll try and zoom in a bit. Oh, he's got his red jacket on. And a plaque. Another red flag there, of course. That looks like the Infinity logo. Look at these professionally high quality made things, almost like they were done by... Look at that one. National Educational Union. I said it was the college. Or is that... Yeah, how can that get some mention then? The Plymouth District. I see. So some people have come down from Plymouth and they thought they'd wave the flag for their college. Because this is done in Cornwall, surely. Newquay. Right, any more red jackets or red flags? again, it could be a coincidence, but yeah, there is another red jacket here, and the hats, and the police are sectioning off the area that they're allowed to protest outside of. Yeah, they're in front of the hotel, so for anyone not in the know, you might actually not have realised that which side any of these people were on. Right, that's surely not it. Mudlight says, what do you think of the pro-Republican protest when King Charles visited Milton Keynes? Believe it or not, I did not hear about that one. We'll have a look at them. Did any fights or anything break out? Yeah, we haven't seen much yet, have we? In the way of... I think oh, here they are. These people wanted to cross the road. What a joke this is. Where one guy tries to take on 4 coppers, and would you believe what colour the photographer, the official photographer for this event, is wearing? He is also, I hope you can see that. Why won't that move? Yeah, he is also in his red jacket just there. And they're making sure they do this just in front of this woman with something red, a red bag. And I think this is as bad as it got that day. But don't worry, any trouble, the press were on hand. This woman finds it humorous that some guy's just trying to cross the street and gets pushed back. Oh, maybe we want to save that. Right, one man made an unsubstantiated claim. That's not like the mainstream press. Right, let's just read the context. One man and his feelings were echoed by many others. Oh, they are giving a bit of they are mentioning though that not everyone was turning up on the side of the refugee. You have to get the NHS and the economy of this country fixed before you welcome more people in. I can't remember who it was. Someone mentioned last week that the people who are in these hotels are all like army age, like the sort of age at which people would possibly join the army. Right, one man said he knew the refugees inside the hotel were not who they say they are, but former ISIS fighters and possible terrorists. One man from Somerset, yay, said, was waving a "You are anti-white racist" sign. And he said he came from Somerset to attend. I bet he had a really strong West Country accent and and sounded like a proper dipspit if they happened to interview the guy. The council where I live told me I can't have a house because I'm white. So, they bit of grammar messed up there. They need a proofreader. So I live in a tent. How's that right when these people are being put up in a hotel? One man had his feelings were echoed by many others on that side of the road, and they said there was an issue with local women and girls being followed and harassed, and the police not doing anything about it, which had led to an increase in the number of people feeling unsafe. And then there was an unsubstantiated claim, we will contact the school on Monday to check, that pupils at Newquay Tretheros had been given self-defence lessons in case they have to walk past the hotel. Wow. She claims her daughter had been followed and no arrests were made. Yeah, I do remember a few years back they made a big deal about some guy who attacked a woman, and he claimed that and they let him off or something because they accepted he was, I don't know. I'm not sure what the story was. Absolutely ridiculous, I can certainly tell you that. Right, King Charles and in Milton Keynes. Let's have a look. let's see what colour those in the crowd were wearing. I can see it already. I don't even have to look too far, and it pops out. It stands out like a sore thumb, you could say. Black, white, let's see. Black, white, black, white, black, white, red, black, white, red. And then the occasional green chucked in for good measure. I wonder if they have these with every time we get a new monarch, whether someone arranges an anti, not my queen or not my king. Who knows? Right, bear with me 1 second. Okay, where are we? The King faced anti-monarchy protests during a visit celebrating Milton Keynes being awarded a city status, but chants of God Save the King drowned out the demonstrators. Brilliant. That's what we like. Charles had travelled alone to Milton Keynes after it was announced on Monday that the Queen Consort had tested positive. Oh my goodness, don't get me started on this crap. Yeah, I don't want to talk about them. I hate the things so much. But they came into my life today. I was confronted by one of these horrible tests. As always, I go on a rant if anyone ever mentions them around me, and I do my best. I had to ask in a shop for them, and I said, massively against, to my displeasure, and certainly not anything I would ever touch. I said, have you got any bullshit 19 tests? That's what I said to the guy behind the counter, but apparently they don't. Anyway, horrible things. Keep away from them. Anyway, it's famed for its concrete cows, and roundabouts. His visit marked Milton Keynes receiving its new status. When Charles first arrived at the city centre to meet the community, he went on an impromptu walkabout, shaking hands. Oh, that's very impromptu, because the royals never go around shaking hands with the crowds. A protester, one of 20 anti-monarchists, shouted, "Why are you wasting money on a coronation, Charles?" But people sang back, "God save the king." Of course, it isn't Charles's money, so he doesn't care. After a few minutes, he crossed to the other side, where the protester had gathered, holding "Not My King" signs, and carried on shaking hands before heading inside the Church of Christ, the Cornerstone. Everything has changed with the Queen gone and Charles on the throne. He hasn't inherited the deference and sycophancy that was around the Queen, and we've just had a new head of state without anybody being asked. Well, no, they never ask. That will never happen. Right, Milton Keynes is known to locals, has become home to thousands of businesses. Something about a housing minister granted permission. Okay, in a speech Charles said about Milton Keynes, "It is a name, as we know, that evokes the memory not only of one of our greatest poets, but also one of our greatest economists." Good for them. And then we get to hear about Charles's speech. I wanted to see some people chanting about down with King Charles. Perhaps we'd have to look on Twitter for that. Let's have a quick look. Milton Keynes Charles. Did anyone film it for us? We will see. I wonder what day of the week this was, out of interest. Looks like things are on a bit of a go slow. My apologies. And okay, just want to check playback's going all right. Oh, here we go.
King Charles' latest public appearance has been spoiled.
Right, hang on. Okay, we'll have a look at some of these protesters and see if we see. Seems to be coded with yellow today, but they've always got their black uniforms on.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
There are actually a lot of people there. There's a huge amount of people there. Got to be a Saturday, hasn't it? This, of course, could be absolutely anyone. Wouldn't be difficult to dress someone up to look like Charles and put him in front of a load of people. Because how many people actually see this guy in the flesh? I mean, people always look different on TV or in print. So long as he's got the very sticky out ears and very distinctive long nose and grey hair, people will just accept this is who they are told it is.
King
12 million says your bro Andy is a nonce. Right, I hope you're hearing the audio. Not that it matters, it's just people chanting. Yeah, everyone all came with the same yellow card, so all these plaques were made in one place or designed by one person. Again, another blatantly organised protest. Oh, unfortunately, they can't spell though. There's 2 M's in Jimmy. Surely they know that. UN World Economic Forum puppet. As my king. No way. A tampon would do better. Why are they all wearing yellow though? Okay, we're not seeing red jackets in this one, but yeah, I'm guessing they're not going to clash with police then, so they didn't need loads of crisis actors maybe. Most of them are just people waving the Union Jack. Look at that woman there, looks like it's the greatest thing she's ever seen. She is loving it. Yeah, it could be anyone. Body double specials. Actually, speaking about weird ears, we won't... How much more has this video got? It's got another 50 odd seconds. We are going to go to our intermission shortly. When we come back, we will be covering the main headline. But yeah, I would say, again, the royals, something else for people to be divided on, something else for people to fall out about. Meanwhile, I bet in reality, Charles, does he have any power? Well, I would say no, because he seems to take part in bullcrap stories. I mean, this man's family will stand in front of cameras and reporters holding a doll, blatantly a doll. So we're expected to take these people seriously. And this urban pictures, so again, this whole thing was that they had a set person they had a whole camera crew go down to film the shaking hands part. That's actually what I wanted to see, footage from something that wasn't urban pictures. Anti-BECTU accredited freelance video journalist, voiceover artist and audio describer based in the UK. Gotcha. I bet this guy has some interesting videos. In fact, we might have a look at that before we go to our break. This is Sky News's version of things.
Placards reading.
Right.
King Charles.
I don't know if this is the supposed civil unrest, but it is certainly got people. The red jackets are out in force on this one.
Charles' latest public appearance has been spoiled by protesters. Activists held up placards reading "Not My King" as the royal visited the city of Milton Keynes, northwest of London.
Yes, all the same footage by Urban Spirit. Oh no, what's the guy called? Urban Pictures? I don't know. PA also managed to purchase them. Yeah, is there not any actual... Okay, this is...
Jimmy, fix it for...
Hang on. The usual chanting. I wonder what day of the week this was. By the way, this video only got 24 views, which compared to the... How many did Urban... whatever the guy's called? Urban Pictures. Yeah, 35,000. Yeah, talking about distinctive features. Another of Charles the People's King with his adoring subjects outside the Church of Christ of Cornerstone in Milton Keynes. Adoring public. I think you missed something out of that headline. Right. Let's see, visit. Okay, so yeah, it got a fair bit of coverage. That a lot of people are against that. Thanks for suggesting that one, Mudlark. Someone always throws an egg at him and misses. Okay. And maybe we're being prepared for the end of the monarchy. I'm not sure. There's very often anti-royal feelings come up quite a lot. Although I was thinking back to Diana, although she was hated and I say hated, publicly criticised and slagged off in the press in a very similar way to Harry, but then that's not the actual monarch, that's just their family. Maybe, perhaps they could end the charade. Yeah, speaking of people with unusual features, Charles, let me just find something on my screen a minute. I will go back to sharing the screen in a second. I don't think where I saw it now. Yes, on YouTube, was it YouTube or Twitter? I got a recommendation, which is weird for me, recommending a Sky News story. Right, here we are. Let's go back to the... King Charles set for Deadpool cameo. And I thought that isn't 100% isn't what gets said anyway, but this is Sky News. This guy, any idea who he is? I think he's the star of Deadpool. Look at those ears. Look at that.
Joy and excitement and fun. I have trepidation in that I have many, many hours every day.
Look at that. Have you ever seen on a genuine, living person that you know personally, someone with an ear like that? That is right up there with the likes of Sally Dinever, who is an actress on Coronation Street. Patsy Kensit has got an ear like that, who is on EastEnders. And now this guy, what it means is they can have pieces added and taken off of their... Yeah, because ears are one way people identify you, so if we wanted this guy to play someone with very large ears, Charles or whatever, I don't think... Has Prince William got big ears? I don't know yet. They just stick a bit of prosthetics on here. give him an actual earlobe, and you're none the wiser, because that is not a human ear. Right, but oh, Hugh Jackman, that's who it is. Yeah. Would you call him a Hollywood actor? I guess you would. Yeah, he's one of the Strange Features Brigade.
With Ryan Reynolds, that's going to be a real mental health stretch for me.
And that's the other one. See, one strange thing about him is his ears aren't even symmetrical. Like he has had his actual ear cut off. Poor guy, how uncomfortable that must be. Weird stuff. Right, we're going to go to our intermission. Actually, on the subject of soap stars, did you... where was that one I saw? They haven't mentioned who, but apparently a household name. Famous soap star arrested on suspicion of rape after woman attacked. I'm curious who it's going to be. Not that I for 1 second believe it. Now, I've made plenty of videos saying that household names, soap stars, are probably nothing like they're presented. And that is ideal for when they want to do a story like this about a household name being accused of such a horrible crime. They can just use one of their ready-made characters. But yeah, I will be interested to see what name it is. Someone from London, in their 20s, a household name on a soap, so it's someone from EastEnders. But again, this is one of those potentially distraction stories, so make sure everyone's focusing on this and not something else. But again, this is a story that got covered by every single news outlet. Okay, we are going to go to our intermission in a second. Let's see. Yeah, when we come back, we'll be looking at my prediction that we will be seeing a horse-drawn cart again very soon. So, let's find... right, what was the video? I can't even remember what we're playing in with now. Before we do go to that, the coincidental funeral of Archie, which is kind of linked to what's coming next. Right, hang on. First, yeah, I'm going to catch up with the live chat. Nathan says it's Wolverine. Oh, Hugh Jackman. Was he also Deadpool? And yeah, well, Wolverine's got maybe the wolf chewed his ear off, because those don't look human ears to me. Yeah, hi, and thanks for taking the time to comment in the chat to Mudlark, Nathan Oakley, KG, Sunstar Thunder Lightning, and did I see anyone else? Maria Ellender, of course. Thanks to you guys for taking the time. If anyone else has tuned in and wants to take the time to say hello, that is appreciated. Now, I present you with our intermission video, which, if you're familiar with my channel, you've probably seen this one before. It goes back to September 2022. It goes on for, let's see, 7 minutes 31. And yeah, if I overrun on my break, then it will just play on in a loop, but I should be back within 7 minutes 31 seconds, and yeah, we'll be looking at the headline story. Okay, be back in a minute. Enjoy the video. See you soon. Greetings. Now, one video I looked at in some detail was that of Oliver Battersby. Oh, sorry, no. Oliver Battersby was the boy from Coronation Street whose mother repeatedly went to appeal court cases to stop his life support being turned off. Archie Battersby was the supposed real-life child whose mother repeatedly went to appeal courts to stop his life support being turned off. Going back to this story, as I said, I did cover it in some detail with my video, The Boy in the Machine. It was left open-ended. We didn't come to any definite conclusions. I thought it interesting that they had now held his funeral. Now, interestingly, if we go back a couple of months to June, we look at when Deborah James was still around before her funeral. I did a video, Deborah James, a prediction, where I made a series of predictions about what we would see at her funeral. I think in the end I only got like 1.5 right. Had I made these same predictions for Archie Battersby, I would have been giving myself a lot more ticks. Again, going back to another story that I've covered, David Amos, if we remember his funeral. The video I made about the David Amos fairy tale, referencing all the high-profile funerals that seem to use horse-drawn carts. Believe me, there's a lot of them. I'll play this little outro at the end of this video. Well, we can now add Archie Battersby to the list. In fact, some parallels between Archie and David Amos. In the case of Archie, his funeral was held at St. Mary's Church in Southend. In the case of David Amos, his casket was carried into St. Mary's Church in Southend. So apparently they used the same church, they used the same black horses and horse-drawn cart. Something else we heard. Bells tolled at the church as teary-eyed mourners began to arrive. What was it they said in Archie's story? Church bells tolled as the coffin carried inside, with the song Hypnotize by American rapper Notorious B.I.G. playing over the speakers. Interesting choice of song there. Hypnotize. Are some of these people literally being hypnotized? Yeah, the Mirror seemed to have put this little piece together for Archie. It shows a screen they had up in the church showing all the great CGI the wonderful pictures that his mother managed to get with him. It just strikes me that people came to this funeral not to mourn, not to pay their respects to 12-year-old Archie, but to get some photographs which they could then sell on to the Daily Mirror in the case of this. Here we see the coffin being brought into St. Mary's. This colour, black with a hint of purple, was the uniform of the day. It was requested that everyone comes wearing black with a hint of purple, because they must love the colour purple for some reason. Perhaps it was Archie's colour, who knows. Even the Reverend was wearing it round his neck. They keep going on about she thinks he may have been taking part in an online challenge and suffered brain damage. Constantly going on about this online challenge. Here she is looking quite the part, and here are all these photographers. I'm sorry, for me that would be like, this is a dignified event, it's my son's funeral, can you get lost with your cameras? What are you doing trying to take photos and make money off the death of my son? You're an absolute disgrace to your profession. Nope, she doesn't care about any of it. In fact, check this out in a minute. All for the cameras, shot of the horse-drawn carriage pulling up. This guy even gets up on the embankment just to film it. What's he going to do, sell it on? And with absolute dry eyes, completely 100% dry eyes. At least she's managing to keep the duping delight down. No massive smiles, although we don't see her for long. She pretends like she's about to cry, but with not one dropped smudge of makeup, she reads this very nondescript eulogy that she says about her son. He was perfect, he was a good boy. How about telling us some memories you've got of your son? Nope, he was great, he was perfect. Who would show these horrific images of him on his deathbed? Are they so short of happy memories that they've got to resort to showing this disgusting crap? I do wonder. Didn't make any predictions about his funeral, but if I had, and if I'd used the same predictions I did for Deborah James, I think it would have been hit after hit after hit, although I don't know if many celebrities attended, but of course his mum's now a celebrity. She's loving all the attention. Actually, I wouldn't have got the funeral being held very quickly. It was a good few weeks ago, so they held out on that one. So we go back and look at the story. It featured videos of him singing and performing gymnastics. They harp on about the court case and failed in bids to overturn a High Court ruling, a bit like Leanne's Battersby in Coronation Street, but of course this is meant to be real life, although the parallels between Archie Battersby and Oliver Battersby are incredible. During the service, a video of Archie singing One Call Away by Charlie Puth was played. Again, it reminds me of not the funeral of Olivia Campbell. If you're not familiar with her, she was one of the victims of the Manchester bombing, but her parent supposedly played a video of her singing a song at their wedding. They got married a second time for Olivia because they had to do something with all the money they'd raised from her passing, and they just decided to blow it all on a Olivia-themed wedding. But here is your Archie-themed funeral. It's very telling that these pictures are provided by The Independent, all copyright of PA Wire. Who are PA Wire? Let's have a look. They provide a 24/7 feed of verified, supposedly, meaning they made them themselves, text, pictures, video, graphics and data to newsrooms around the British Isles. So when photographers come to events like funerals and start snapping pictures of the coffin, it's all for money. That's all they're doing it for. It's just a business. Kind of disgraceful in my book. Anyway, Archie will be added on to the list of people that have had their coffin pulled by a horse-drawn carriage. This taken from the end of my David Amos fairy tale video from back in November 21. I thank everyone for taking the time to watch this. I invite your comment. Cheers, everyone. Fairy tale? Well, no, not exactly. It's just one of those very common things to look out for that they do certainly use in high-profile stories. Could it be that every time a grieving family enters an undertaker's, they say, by the way, did your loved one die in a high-profile incident? And if they happen to say yes, they say, well, that's great. We can give you the special celebrity package where you get a horse-drawn carriage thrown in, and also we televise the funeral for you, as long as you can get the press behind it. Otherwise, you just have to make do with the bog-standard funeral that anyone else would expect. All I know is fabricated events always seem to take on a familiar formula, and it's just being able to spot these telltale signs. And with these death hoax, it seems to be that chucking in a horse-drawn carriage is their nod to the audience that, yeah, this is a fairy tale. Okay, welcome back to the stream. That was my video from December 2020, am I right? Let me just double check. It was September 2022, the funeral of Archie Battersby, and here we are in probably going to be March 2023, and there will be another high-profile funeral, and I kind of worked out the formula. Not exactly, things do change, don't always get it right, but in the case of someone tragically losing their life, not necessarily from an illness, particularly young people who died in unfortunate circumstances, or anyone adult that's murdered, say a terror attack victim or something, always seem to get horse-drawn carriages. So what are the chances that Nicola Bulley, about whom the press are still bringing her up every single day? Where's the story? Let's see. Nope, press the wrong button. Okay, heartbroken. Oh, but better check the audio's playing back alright a minute before I go on too much. Yep, seems to be playing alright. Heartbroken Nicola Bulley's family prepare final send-off after 20,000 quid is raised for funeral. Now, let's remember, I don't believe Nicola Bulley was meant to be from a poor family, as it were. I think wasn't it reported that she was middle class or something? I don't know. Apparently, some people were suggesting the only reason she got such publicity was because she was middle class. Now, being middle class doesn't necessarily mean you've got tons of dosh, but it seems kind of off that the public are being asked to donate towards a funeral. For example, beginning of the year, I lost a family member. No one chipped in. I mean, we wouldn't dreamed of putting well, you know. But anyway, generous members of the public have raised nearly 20 grand to help Miss Bulley's family cover funeral costs. yeah, it was suggested earlier in the live chat that these images are CGI, and I hope we all know that it would be an absolute piece of pish for that to be done. I mean, there are websites that produce faces as realistic as this, and you wouldn't necessarily know the difference. This person does not exist.com. This is also just a side note. I'm not going to go too far off the subject, but the second time I've seen someone claiming to be Madeleine McCann, a Polish woman, they're doing it. I'm sure I saw something about a German woman claiming it was her, but again, Madeleine McCann, another person just like this woman who probably never walked the streets, but also in last Sunday's stream, I'm sure we looked to see if there were any fundraisers for Nicola Bulley, and it said that someone had to take one down quickly. Or no, they were forced to take one down amid a backlash, but that must be because there was an official one. Bear in mind, this family have said we want privacy. Well, I do think once you go to the public and say, we want your support, I think you're kind of obliged to then share stuff with them. That's not the behaviour of people that just want privacy, is setting up these fundraisers. Anyway, apparently the coroner for Nicola Bulley lasted 5 minutes, satisfied on the balance of probabilities that, they're just happy they've provided a positive identification. Very difficult on someone that could just be a CGI rendering. No wonder it only took 5 minutes. But they can now finally make funeral preparations, and they're going to release the body. Yeah, my prediction is it will be... Oh, here is the GoFundMe. Why are they still raising money? Interesting, they're up to 33k. Because they said their target's only... Well, they upped it from 25 grand. Originally, this target was... a campaign set up by close friends of the family, collected nearly 20,000. Organisers blew past their £10,000 goal within a day of the launch. So they said, we want 10 grand for the family. What? People want to give it? Up the target then. Tell them we want 25 grand. Okay, we've now got 33 grand. Oh, tell them we need 40 grand for the funeral. This is just like a scam. Well, at what point are they going to stop? Let's remember, again, another story I mention all the time. This image doesn't look legit, by the way. You've got 3 people walking the dog, and what's she doing? Lead on the floor or something? The angle of that photo doesn't... Oh, goodness sakes, right. The angle of this picture doesn't look correct to me. I will try and zoom in on this webpage a bit more so you can... As I see the text is very small, my apologies. Does that look right? I mean, she must be leaning back quite a lot to get her head so low in the shot. I'm not sure. Well, the camera is... I'm surprised her head is almost going at a... Her head is almost parallel with the ground in this shot, by the looks of things. So how is the... Because you can see the camera's been drastically tilted, unless it's been cropped, of course. That could be the case. Right. So, the case... We had the GoFundMe for Azalea Kane, the baby that lost her life. And her parents, they raised $1.5 million to save her. Now, even after she died, of course, if you do a fundraiser to save the life of a child, that is what the money has to go to. You can't then say, do you know what? All this money people have donated to help save the baby's life, we're going to set up we're going to put it towards remembering our daughter. No, these people donated for a specific reason. yeah, apparently the funds now, they realise it's going up. They're planning for Paul and the little girl's future. What if these people don't exist? Where is all this money going? The beautiful Nicola Bulley was the most amazing person you could have ever met, aren't they always? She had a heart of gold that shined through everything she did. Her kindness knew no bounds, and her legacy will live on through her beautiful little girls and Paul. And on the 27th, she disappeared. And that's a story everyone knows. And of course, just in case you want proof that she actually went missing, they've given us a bbc.co.uk website, because there's no way that would be a load of crap. So yeah, if you want to, people might suggest, why on earth would they fake the death of or the going missing of this person? Well, whatever their motivations are, I don't know for sure. There's another link I hope I've got, which I might have to go and find it. Let's see. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna have to hide. I'm gonna have to close. Oh, did I have that on all the time? Yeah, Mudlight says no one needs to spend that much on the funeral. On a funeral? Well, no, of course. You can get, 3,000 was the cost of the one that, I was involved in recently. No, 20 grand is ridiculous, but yeah, it will be no expense spared when they do this one. Right, I wanted to just find something a second, so let me bring that up. Where is it? Actually, I'm being daft. I can just do a Google search for it. Apparently, oh, right. Apparently, the police were tripped by a TikToker. Where was it? Nicola Bulley TikTok. If I do a search for that, it should come up. Oh, it was this one. I have got it open already, I think. Oh, I don't know. It is this one, by the look of it. Lancashire Constabulary has been found to require improvements. Well, this is one way that, one motivating factor for this. Obviously, they've now decked out all the rivers with wooden beams. I'm sure there was something about TikTok. Here we go. Meanwhile, a TikTok user who lied to the police and filmed officers as they pulled Nicola Bulley's body from the river has been unmasked as barber Curtis Arnold. What lie could you tell the police that would allow them to let you film the removal of a body? I mean, what did they think this person was gonna do with the footage? The 34-year-old posted footage of officers searching the water's edge across several social media channels and later admitted to earning close to £900 in royalties. How much royalties do you think they make on every single article that they publish about this woman? So why is this guy doing it on TikTok any different? The account, which has been dedicated to coverage of Nicola Bulley, spun as a media done differently, but still media, don't worry about that, and has since been removed. I mean, if you tell the police you're the press, will they let you show a body being pulled out the river? I mean, what, for example, if it wasn't the correct person, and the press or whoever takes the footage goes and puts it on social media, and some poor person's watching it and sees their family member get pulled out the river? It's crazy. But yeah, I thought that was a strange one. but it's been unmasked. They also gave this guy and his channel loads of publicity. 34-year-old barber contributed to a social media frenzy. Well, it wasn't caused by one TikTok user that saw influencers flock to St. Michael's on Wire in search of the mother of two. So was it? Yeah, approached by the scum, which are just as savage for trying to get their story. We saw in the intermission video how journalists will literally climb over walls to get a shot of a funeral procession and of grieving relatives. But because this is a TikToker, yeah, I held the phone as high above me as I could, resting it on the fence. So the police accepted that this person, where they got... See, of course, that's where they got these images from. In case someone would say, well, how did anyone manage to get footage of the police pulling this body out the river? Oh, some guy lied to the police. Rebranded. They even tell us the name of his YouTube channel. That's brilliant.
In fact, they are
Imagine getting
how
that
they
much
dealt with this.
publicity.
But the difficulty has been
His account gathered 13,000 followers.
So it's not ITV, Sky,
his original YouTube,
BBC,
Curtis Cool Stuff.
Regulators to see what they're doing. It's a social media aspect, and that's like the Wild West. The social media.
Yeah, I think that's still going. We can have a look for it. Let's have a look for it. Curtis Cool Stuff. I will not be watching it if he has got footage of the police pulling a body out, but I'm just curious that this guy who's supposed to be in the wrong got so much publicity. Come on, YouTube, get a wriggle on. Oops, that doesn't look good. Bear with me one sec. Let me check I'm still connected. I might have had a loose cable there. Let's see. Yeah, we got it now. Curtis Media. Curtis Cool Stuff. This is the guy. He's got a couple of channels by the look of it.
Welcome to
Right. Have they still got the... I'm wondering if they've still got the 1 month ago. He hasn't got any recent videos up, actually. So basically his channel got a stack of publicity, and he doesn't even have any footage up about that particular case. What was the other one we had on there? This one.
Is your website...
Curtis Media. Today I look at the river very closely from the bench all the way to the location, trying to show you in depth the river, trying to show you in detail the river depth, flow and shape, so you can decide if the police theory is right. We also go inside Rowan Water for the first time. Yeah, this guy... I mean, that picture there looks about as real as some of the pictures that are legitimately supposed to be of her and her partner. How she's kind of just stuck on the front of the screen. She even managed to film a journalist. I don't think they would let him do that myself. He must be very good at lying. Wow, this guy's got... This is where they catalogue every single video about Nicola by the looks of things. Oh, and some people are suggesting that he might be... that the partner might not be telling the truth, or I don't know. I find it interesting how much a lot of Nicola's friends do actually look like her. I mean, let's see this
Spending
person.
a bit of time with us.
Oh, that's not a very good image, is it? Is that the same one? Emma White? Yeah.
Keep calling her Nicola, you knew.
She does have a I mean, not 100% identical, but certainly wouldn't be too much of a stretch to think that this could be someone, yeah, just put a few prosthetics on her and they could make her look like this. And that was another ridiculous thing they just showed in this video. This is Channel 4 News, where the people, I mean, bear in mind, everyone's hearing about this story. There's probably very few people that, you know, unless they do not watch TV at all, don't have access to the internet, they probably, you know, everyone's heard of this story. It is relentless. And yet, just to push it in people's heads, this is what I mean by you literally cannot get away from their rubbish no matter how much you try and avoid it. It's shoved at you. This is people standing on the street waving placards about, if you've seen this woman that... I mean, do people not hear this constantly already? And here's the suspect-looking police officer, by the way, with her big forearms and square jaw, and Adam's, well, Tracky will shave Adam's apple. Yeah, mad stuff. The amount of times, oh, it's crazy. Mudlark says Nicola reminds you of Sarah Everard. That's a point, actually. I can't. Let's see, Sarah Everard. Oh, of course, I remember the face. It came back to me there. Yeah, it's a very similar, almost like rendering. Let's just quickly, for the sake of it, go to this person does not exist. And, oh great, I hope that's not a problem with this person does not exist .xyz. Alright, that's a weird one, but you know, they can make people look halfway real using the most advanced model, and this is just an AI powered generator that produces photos of people that do not exist at quite low resolution. Again, yeah, these images, a lot of these look more legitimate and real than that of Nicola Bulley and Sarah Everard. Some of them are a bit messed up and a bit disturbing. Others, meanwhile, look as legit as can be. Look at her strange ears, very reminiscent of some of the ears you see on people. That's that one looks a bit confused, you could say. Yeah, sometimes they have weird growths on them. Weird stuff. Crazy stuff. So yeah, we'll look at that and then go back to Sarah Everard. And I don't know if I'm the only one that sees just that same sort of look, almost. Let's find someone. It's almost like the lifelessness in their eyes. Weird. Again, yeah, resemblance. Not just with that person. Who was the other one we were looking at? Nicola, wasn't it? Right, we are fast approaching 11:30, so we are going to be winding down soon. Yeah, I thought it was interesting, the last known pictures of Nicola, and you don't even see her face. I was like, well, how typical is that? She looks a lot like, you know, this person. Someone from the University of Idaho. But hey ho. Right, were there any other subjects we were going to touch on this evening? Mudlark says there's an agenda to make us distrust the police. Yeah, absolutely correct. I mean, both these cases, was the police officer responsible in this one? Or am I getting mixed up? How was it? Let's see what actually happened to... I am getting mixed up. Sarah Everard. Yeah, am I correct that she was... that it was a police officer that was responsible? Wayne Cousins, that's right, that was a police officer. Again, another slightly bizarre looking person. Wayne Cousins. And he looks different in, well, not in every picture, but yeah, look at those big ears. That surely isn't the same person. Maybe it's meant to be, but we got this image of the guy. Actually, let's open that on its own. While that's open, oh goodness sake, come on. Yeah, I hope the playback's been alright tonight. Let me just... oh no, I trust me stats. Right, for some reason it doesn't want to load that page. Never mind. Right, who's the other one we were looking at? Okay. Him and him. Both images of Wayne Cousins, and that, yeah, they look nothing like each other, I've got to say. This guy actually looks remarkably like this one. And I believe this is an author. This guy, I guess. Matt Haig. Okay. Right, Sunstar said, good night, it's almost 12:30 where I am. Yeah, absolutely, Mudlark. Thanks for staying up and tuning in. I much appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, and thanks for your message on Twitter earlier. Yeah, as I said, we did glance in that direction in the pre-show. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing it. Thank you. Yeah, we are actually going to be winding down in the next, certainly in the next 10 minutes. The stream will be over. We do have a video to play out with, actually. Right, just want to make sure we didn't overlook anything. Although I am going to be back, actually, midweek with another Bobsy Hour. So, oh, this was the other one. Mom spends $12,000 on baby's wardrobe, so she never repeats an outfit. Again, something else just to depress people that can barely afford to, you know, live at the moment. And here is a woman spending 12 grand on an outfit, but what do all... let's see, I guess she's got an Instagram account. I guess these images... oh no, they're from Cater News Agency, so this woman actually sold the images of her baby to a news agency. Does that sound right? Right, I'm going to find out her name, actually. Oh, wow, that was a very short story. Just those couple of images. The Daily Mail, is that it? Leanna. I feel like I'm missing something here. Where's the rest of the story? Okay, here we go. Yeah, they're all these images are owned by Cater News Agency. So, want more from the Daily Mail? Absolutely not, thank you very much. I want nothing from the Daily Mail. Yeah, these must be on Instagram. I don't know. It looked typical of like a doll to me. And just another story. Yeah, if I go to... life like dolls. I bet they've got headdresses on just like that. There's one. They always seem to put them in these sort of elaborate headdresses like this. Just, I'm not sure whether maybe it hides the seam or something. This kind of thing. I know that doesn't quite look real, but yeah. And then whenever I see a baby with one of those headdresses on, I always start thinking that looks a bit suspect. Okay, and with that we are gonna start calling it a night. I'm gonna take this opportunity to thank Mudlark, KG, Sunstar Thunder Lightning, Maria Ellender, Nathan Oakley, and I think that's everyone. Mudlark Digging at the Thames, I hope I mentioned you. I know Mudlark often admits to falling asleep during the stream, so I say wake up, but no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I sometimes do that, fall asleep to particular YouTube videos, and oh no, Mudlark's still with us, probably just an advert for a baby clothing company. Yes, I expect it would have let me see. Yeah, the article seemed ridiculously short. I'm not sure if perhaps I'd missed something there. I don't know. Okay, tonight we are leaving with... I'm going to leave you with the video. Let me see, what's it called? Just got into bed now, Mudlark. Good timing then. If you want to fall asleep to the stream, you can always skip it back to the beginning and watch from the start again. Yeah, this is another one on the note of faking pregnancy from June 2020. Katy Perry faking pregnancy. As I said, I'll be back with a midweek stream, and that will be another Bob's the Hour. I might even make 2 this week. We'll see how we get on. I am trying. I'm also going to be uploading a video to my other channel, Chronicles of the Unconvinced, which will be an edited segment, but yeah, you'll have to check the description for a link to that channel. Okay, and before we close out tonight, I am going to show my appreciation to my supporters for the month, which is Linda Mac and Skeptic936, and I would also invite anyone that before they leave, if you could just hit the thumbs up, that is always appreciated. Subscribing and sharing likewise, and I'll also share a link to my Patreon if anyone wants to see what goes on over there. Okay, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll be back midweek, and yeah, I'll certainly be back Sunday, and I will be back at least once, maybe twice in midweek. Alright, have a good one. Let me just line everything up, ready to play out on. Okay, good night. Oops, sorry, that was the wrong video. Right, this time. Katy Perry faking pregnancy, June 2020. Okay, night everyone, over and out.
Hi everyone, now I've made a couple of videos on Katy Perry and her pregnancy. If you've seen them, you'll know I'm a little sceptical of the whole story, and for some reason I found